Desperate to take down the man who killed his sister, this man finds a ring that can reset time for 57 seconds and carries out his revenge. 3 men are in an airplane that is about to crash. Our protagonist, Franklin, recalls the past 3 months of his life and what has happened. 3 months ago, Franklin secured a job as a ticket taker for an event. He is desperate to meet Anton Burrell, a tech guru who has invested his time and resources in finding a way to reach optimal health. He plans to ensure that people don't need pills to stay healthy. Franklin arrives at the event late and is scolded by the manager. A beautiful girl named Jala takes pity on him and shows him how to scan the tickets. Franklin asks Jala for her number, but she sets an alarm on his phone so he can pick her up after the presentation. Franklin acquires a tri-band from his friend so he can access the convention. He reaches the platform just as Burrell and his assistant Ingram arrive. Franklin hides behind the curtains, but he's found by Anton. Instead of kicking him out, Anton tells him to enjoy the presentation. Anton makes his speech mentioning his company's achievements so far. Today, he has more exciting news. He has made another tri-band, which allows people to do typically annoying things like exercising without feeling annoyed. Meanwhile, a guard tases another and enters the stage. He fires a weapon at the crowd and points it at Anton, saying that the tri-bands are controlling everyone. Franklin grabs a cart and rams into the man, allowing him to be arrested by the other guards. Anton thanks Franklin for saving his life and promises to give him the interview he needs. After Anton leaves, Franklin sees a ring on the floor. This is the ring Anton had been wearing. Anton holds the ring and a strange thing happens. He repeats the moment that just happened. Franklin is freaked out, but he has to meet Jala, so he covers the ring with a bandage. At the hotel, Franklin experiments more with the ring, learning that it takes him back 57 seconds. Jala comes and the two have a beautiful time, which ends in them going back to Franklin's house. Jala sees several women's items in Franklin's house, so he uses the ring to reset time to hide the things. He also uses it to be an expert lover to Jala. Meanwhile, Renee and Calvert, who had attended Anton's convention, report back to their boss, Sig. Sig owns a giant pharmaceutical company that has had controversial issues. He released a medicine that caused addiction to the consumers and resulted in many deaths. Sig wants Renee and Calvert to learn more about Anton's new tri-band since, if it is true, it means huge losses on his part. Sig thinks the attack on Anton might have been a publicity stunt, so he wants Calvert to watch Franklin. In the morning, Franklin finds his car being towed. He tries to reset time, but he's always late and has to watch his car being towed away. Franklin is a famous online blogger called Remedy who writes articles bashing pharmaceutical companies for misrepresenting their drugs without considering how they affect human life. However, he's very broke, so he knows he'll have difficulty getting money to pay to get his car back. Fortunately, he comes up with an idea. He goes to a casino and uses the ring to reset the time so he can win each round. This is highly successful and he has enough money to buy a new car. He drives back to the casino and starts winning again, causing the security guards to suspect him of cheating. They take him to the parking lot and start beating him up. Franklin tries to reset the time so he can run away, but he's caught every time. Luckily, Calvert intervenes and calls out the security guys for picking on a winning customer. Calvert reveals that he works for Sig, who wants to give Franklin a job. Franklin refuses the offer, but Calvert gives him his card if he changes his mind. Franklin's relationship with Jala grows and he proposes to her. He also reveals that the women's belongings in his house belong to his twin sister, who overdosed after taking Sig's medicines. This is why he's so vocal about the company and has written a few articles for the newspaper as well. Franklin gets a call from Anton to schedule the interview. In the interview, Anton reveals that he's found a mineral that will change the course of humanity. This mineral will help people avoid accidents and deaths. Before ending the interview, Anton encourages Franklin to follow his quest for justice. That night, Franklin decides to take the job with Sig, intending to get close to him so he can learn a few secrets and expose him. At the first meeting, Franklin punches Sig for poisoning his sister, but he rewinds the time and acts respectfully. Sig wants Franklin to write articles for him and his company. Accepting the job gives Franklin a prestigious salary, enabling him to move into a luxurious neighborhood. Jala feels Franklin is selling out by working for Sig, but he reminds her of his plan to expose him. Meanwhile, Sig thinks that Franklin is working with Anton to ruin his business, so he asks Calvert to keep a watchful eye on him. One day, a model tries to seduce Franklin, but he kicks her out, saying he's taken. This angers Sig, who's been watching the exchange on CCTV. Sig invites Franklin and Jala to Miami, hoping that Renee might find something from Jala. He also has them remove their tribands as he suspects that Anton is helping Franklin through them. At the casino, Franklin uses the ring again to keep winning, and despite close observation, Sig and Calvert cannot find anything wrong. While hanging out, a man approaches Sig and shoots him, accidentally shooting Jarla as well. Franklin quickly resets time, and when the man starts approaching them, he knocks him out with a champagne bottle. The man is arrested, and later Franklin realizes that he knows the man. His wife had been found dead in the company, but no investigation was done. The man on the TV says that Sig's company should be investigated as they're blackmailing everyone to submit. The following day, Franklin asks Renee for the woman's file so he can clean up that story. Renee tells Sig about this and he approaches Franklin. He gifts him a car for his hard work and then gives him the file. Franklin finds it empty, so Sig blames it on Renee's carelessness. The two go to the bar and have a few drinks, and then Sig takes Franklin into a room where women are waiting for him. Franklin tries resisting the women, but he realizes that he's been drugged. Sig records everything on his phone and then leaves. Franklin wakes up at midnight and quickly rushes home. Jarla had an art event that night, but Franklin never showed up, so she's angry. Franklin tries to explain everything and an argument occurs. The two fall into the pool, so Franklin resets the time. However, Jarla can tell that something has happened, making Franklin suspect that holding someone else while using the ring causes them to see the reset. Franklin explains this to Jarla, but she realizes that Franklin has been using the ring on her. She feels as if their relationship isn't real, and she leaves. Franklin decides that it's time to end this mess. He goes to the office and demands the password to Sig's safe from Renee. Renee initially gives him the wrong passwords, but eventually gives him the right one when he shoots her leg. He then resets the time and waits for Renee to leave. He enters Sig's office, opens the safe, and retrieves all the files. Franklin asks his friend to post evidence of Sig and Calvert killing the woman as he had discovered the truth about his medicine. He packs up his stuff while calling Jarla, but she doesn't answer. Franklin exits his house, but someone knocks him out. He wakes up in the airport with Sig, demanding that Franklin tell everyone the video is fake. When he refuses, Sig reveals that he's kidnapped Jarla too. Jarla says that she's proud of what Franklin has done, and he asks her to use the ring. This allows her to escape and run towards the oncoming car while Sig, Calvert, and Franklin enter the plane. The police open fire on the aircraft and a bullet hits the engine, bringing us to the first scene. Sig accidentally touches the ring and realizes what it can do. He tries resetting time, but it's not enough to prevent the bullet from hitting the engine, and they crash. They all survive the crash. Renee and Franklin exit the plane, but it explodes, killing Sig. Jarla and the police arrive at the crash site. Franklin reunites with Jarla, and he's now happy that the man responsible for so many deaths is dead. He's surprised to be approached by Anton and Ingram. Anton reveals that he'd not left his ring on the platform by accident. In fact, it's made of the quantum crystals he'd discovered, and he needed someone to test it. He is impressed that Franklin used the ring to get justice for the people he cares about and wants him to join his company. However, Franklin says that the ring is just as addictive as Sig's medicine, so he doesn't want any part of it. He destroys the ring, but surprisingly, Anton still wants Franklin to work for him as he's not used to people saying no to him. Once again, Franklin refuses his offer and returns Anton's tribands. He and Jarla walk away holding hands, ready to live their lives without needing this technology.